Hello, dear Aries. I am Jamie Dawn, your revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your December 2021 horoscope. It's the last calendar month of this year, but it is not the end of the zodiacal calendar because you are the one that introduces that every year. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising sign in Aries, and you're ruled by Mars here, and I'm placing the sun on the first house. So what you're going to be experiencing or having the influence of the transits of these planets will be in your 8th and 9th houses mostly. There's a little bit in the 10th house that also will be activated for you. So let's talk about it. December 2nd, we have the moon and Mars canoodling in Scorpio, and the moon will be trining Neptune at this time. So there's a lot of watery energy. Now, you're a fire sign, so fire and water can complement each other as long as it doesn't get too intense, which I'm afraid to say that the moon and Mars canoodling in an intense, extreme sign like Scorpio could have your emotions boiling if you're not careful. And this has to do with 8th house matters, which are joint resources. It's the values that you share with someone else. There's also this feeling of regeneration that happens. And we know all of the deep transformative work that the month of November invited us all into. This just puts another little piece here of intensity that leads us into a new moon eclipse 2 days later on December 4th. Now, this new moon should be fairly friendly. It's the last one in the Gemini Sagittarius series before we really get into the next phase of the nodes, which are going to be Taurus and Scorpio. And I'll talk about that each month, as well as you can find them on my Celestial Wisdom videos. So what you're going to be working with this first week of December leading into this new moon eclipse is all about speaking truth, about being able to have this belief system that you may hold about what you value most in partnership, what you value most financially. 8th house does have to do with inheritance and taxes, but that has a lot to do with the joint resources piece. And so what you may be rediscovering, and you may be setting new intentions with this eclipse, and you could be feeling this long before the eclipse actually takes place, and even a few weeks after, is that you're going to be saying, okay, how do I check in with myself here, especially because I'm going to put another pin on the map. Venus is in shadow in the sign of Capricorn, and she goes retrograde middle of the month through the rest of December and into most of January. I'll talk about that in a second, but the reason I'm bringing this up is it's further emphasis about what we value and relationships and finances, which is very Venusian. Then you add in the 8th house intensity. I have a feeling a lot of your conversations, a lot of your intentions, a lot of the ways in which you interact are going to be driven by what you have to share with another. So what kind of resources allow you to travel? What kind of resources allow you and your beloved, if you're partnered with somebody, to build a new future together, because we're working with a new moon, one that has far-reaching opportunities. This new moon also can create new opportunities for you to connect with those in your local community, those who are maybe from your past that are coming back to heal or to reconnect. So I'll point another piece here. This could be for some of you single Aries. If you're looking for love, this new moon could give you the opportunity to do it. So go to a holiday party, mingle, get out into the neighborhood, get on the online dating apps. All of these things can really benefit you. The other thing that you may be finding with this particular eclipse is that you may be wanting to soak up new knowledge that lets you have far-reaching capabilities and allows you to expand on the work that you do, allows you to expand on the relationships that you have. Some of you Aries, because this is going to make a beautiful trine being in Sagittarius to your sun, moon, or rising sign. It could bring in some opportunities that are long distance, maybe those from another foreign background, or it may fuel you to take on some higher education. All of these things can give you some inspiration at this time. And then since we're dealing with eighth house, you need the funds in order to make that happen. So some of you may be getting your loans or grants or something of that nature. There's also an indication here that some of you may receive a new job because you're blending some resources in order to increase your income. It's a great time also to make new investments that are long-term or long range. So all of these can be capitalized during this new moon eclipse. Now, it sets you up for the rest of December, where we do have Mars squaring off with Jupiter, activating that 8th and 11th house. So you may receive some resistance in your decisions from your partner or from somebody who, you are trying to get some form of resources that they are saying, well, there's other people to consider here with this 11th house. There's groups, or maybe there's a friend who activates a little bit of consternation for you or doubt in your decision-making process. So it's important that you can stay true to yourself and own all of your decisions. Remember, this is an adjustment period. You make a decision, you can adjust along the way. It also has a good indication to receive advice. So if you're not making the investment or applying for that loan on the new moon around the next week, it's a good time to let somebody invest for you or receive some professional advice around your investments or around finances in particular. Now, on December 10th, 11th, depending on where you are in the world, Venus and Pluto are making a really close canoodling, and this is going to be activating that 10th house. So some of you Aries who have been looking for jobs or you've been looking to raise your status, this is a time to attract really powerful opportunities, really powerful things in your life and people that you take a pretty serious approach to. And that because Venus is in shadow and be retrograding, this most likely will be some things from your past that maybe you thought were dead and gone, or maybe you've been sitting and waiting for that opportunity to finally break loose. And so you may receive news of, hey, it's time for you to start this new role January 1st, or you're going to get a promotion, or here's somebody that you need to build a relationship with because they're very powerful and influential. But it also could be that you become that power influencer in your work life or in your public status, because we're dealing with 10th house here. There is an indication that something could come up around relationships or finances that feel like a power struggle here, and it could be on public display. And what that means is that it just means that there could be witnesses around, or it could feel really big. And because we're dealing with Pluto, that's why we're dealing with the control or the power issues here. But Venus is very benefic, and even though she's retrograde, I do see her blessing you. Now, this is more internal work, so it may help drive you into recognizing how truly powerful you are and that you can create this next stage or this next view of your reality. And that I also feel that there's a little bit of an activation with the 11th house during this time that lets you be able to have some sort of wish fulfillment. Perfect for the holidays. Now, Mars, your ruler, will enter Sagittarius on December 13th, and then Mercury enters Capricorn at the same day. So this is going to further activate your 8th and 9th, your 9th and 10th houses. And so that is going to give you some oomph, some inspiration, if you will, with Mars and Sagittarius making a trine to your first house, where you can start to share the knowledge. You can start to maybe travel, especially those of you Aries who need a change of scenery. This is a great time to do it. And you may take a pretty serious approach that some of you may be receiving news or starting a role that creates distance or creates travel for you for the work that you're doing. It's also a real possibility that some of you Aries will be given a teaching job or somewhere that you get to speak in public and expand the things that you're most passionate about and you're inspired about, and that others will listen and take it seriously. Venus stations retrograde on the 19th in Capricorn, and there is a full moon in Sagittarius this day. I think this is a very powerful day because Venus retrograding in your 10th house and then this full moon on your 9th and 3rd house tells me that whatever it is, if you've had to suppress your voice, or if there is something that you have been really working hard on, that personal work, you get a chance to be able to share it with those that you feel safe with those that, increase your value. And it also allows you, as you share this knowledge, as you share the information that you have put together, or that, your voice gets heard, that you also find that others value your opinion, they value what you say. It's perfect if you're publishing, or if you are trying to increase sales, anything of that nature. This is a great time to bring in new clients, get yourself set up for the first of the year. It also has a good indication that some of you, if you're looking at it from a health perspective, you'll be declaring, this is what I'm going to do for my New Year's resolution, right? I can see a lot of you Aries back in the gym, or back on an exercise routine or diet, that sort of thing, with all of this energy. And then we have our winter solstice, December 21st, as the sun moves into Capricorn, further emphasizing your 10th house. And then the Venus retrograde and Pluto canoodling officially right at Christmas Day evening, as the day after the 26th. So more of this 10th house emphasis. I sense that there could be some really serious news, but good news that shows up for you in public, that also increases your status. It lets people take you seriously, because I think sometimes, Aries, people don't always take you seriously. You have a wonderful sense of humor, or a way of maybe talking about things, or doing some impulsive things, and people are like, that's just Aries doing their thing. Whereas now, when we've got the Venus retrograde and Pluto canoodling in that 10th house, there could be some really deep and profound healing going on. So you could receive news of that new job, or that promotion, or that your reputation, people are taking you seriously. And that can help heal some of the past hurts, or the disbelief that you might have had even in yourself, right? Because with Venus retrograde, it's more personal work. So if your self-esteem has had the shit kicked out of it because people haven't shown up, or the opportunities haven't shown up, I really feel as though around the Christmas time, with this Venus-Pluto canoodling, that you can have something to celebrate, something that you can find greater value in order to feel successful. Because remember, we're dealing with Capricorn. So you want to feel like you've achieved something, and you've had to work hard for it, because the 10th house is a natural square to your first house. But as you know, anything worth doing is worth doing well, even if you have to fight for it. Sometimes that makes it even more delicious. December 29th, we wrap up the month with Jupiter re-entering Pisces. So think back to May 13th, and around that time, from May until July, if I remember my dates right. And Jupiter was in Pisces. It retrograded back into Aquarius from July until the end of this year. And so here, Jupiter reactivates some of the themes that it started from May to June. And then we also have Mercury canoodling with Venus in your 10th house, and Pluto. So this Jupiter in Pisces is going to make a sextile to Mercury, Venus, and Pluto, I feel, giving you the added bonus of how you can attract more power, more energy, more blessings, more faith and belief and hope that you really can have the things that you desire most. All right, Aries, I really hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and come find me at jamiedawn.com. Have a great month. Take care.